So Bohemian Rhapsody has been out for a few months now, and I was one of those people that really didn't like the movie that much. Come to find out, it has a huge audience. People love this movie. People claiming that it's the best movie of the past year. People claiming that it's the best movie of the past decade. It just won Best Picture at the Golden Globes. And it gets me wondering, what is it that people see in this movie that I don't? And what are the things that I don't like about it that maybe other people don't recognize? Sure, I have my bias with the movie. I'm not a huge fan, but so many people that I know, the movie really resonated with them. They loved the movie. They became a bigger Queen fan than they were before. And I really wanted to dig into that. So I jotted down some things that may be able to explain what it is that people like about the movie and what people don't like about the movie. I'll start with the things that people like about it and why people are going so far as saying that it's a masterpiece or the best movie of the decade. And my first reason is that the movie is littered with music that they know. It makes them feel pretty good whenever they can sing along, so much so that just this weekend they re-released Bohemian Rhapsody in a handful of theaters, more than a handful of theaters. And it's a sing-along version of Bohemian Rhapsody, which is what I think the movie was all along. I even know people that viewed the movie as a concert experience more so than a film itself, which is cool. That can be a lot of fun. But I do think the music in the movie and them knowing the songs, and regardless of how ridiculous it is how the songs became into fruition to begin with, the fact that the songs are there can really comfort a lot of people. Reason number two are the comforting beats, which a lot of people call formulaic. A lot of people feel comfortable watching these things play out while watching the movie, these things that they know, sort of like the music. The movie is littered with things that we know. It's just a matter of if that's generic to you or comforting and fun to you. And I think a lot of people watch this movie and it follows a lot of the beats that we've seen before in a lot of other movies. And they really enjoy that. Yet again, can't speak for everybody, but I think that the movie has a certain tone about it. And the movie is enjoyable. It is entertaining. But I do think that scenes happening that we've seen in a bunch of other movies, including Walk Hard, Dewey Cox Story, is really comforting for a lot of people. And my third reason, and it is a big one, is that this has a really huge feel-good, feel-great ending. The last 25 minutes, it duplicates their Live Aid set, essentially. And I can see people leaving the movie really amped up and confusing that really entertaining and impressive final 25 minutes as a great movie as a whole, and sort of maybe forgetting about the hour and a half that took place before that, which, you know, is fine. If people want to judge a movie as a great just by judging the final 20 minutes, that's cool, but I personally like to look at everything that came before it. And this last 25 minutes is pretty impressive. It's basically a shot-for-shot remake of their Live Aid set, even though it is lip-synced. A lot of people don't have a problem with that. You just want to hear Freddie Mercury's voice in the music and just see how they can recreate it visually. And it is entertaining and impressive. And I do think that is playing a role, because it's the last thing people see when they leave the movie is this big epic concert with green screen and thousands and thousands of people that are duplicated in CGI. But I think it's playing a role here. I'm going to get into the things that people don't like about the movie, including myself and a bunch of people, including the critics. Critics didn't really like this movie all that much. And the first one is that it is a by-the-numbers biopic, which is what a lot of people actually liked about it. If you saw my second feature there and what people liked about it, the comforting beats can also be disclaimed as a by-the-numbers biopic. It follows the steps of all these musical biopics that we've seen before now, including Walk Hard, Dewey Cox Story. There's times where I expected Dewey Cox to show up because it's following these beats, which is cool with some people, but for me, I want something a little bit more. I want a deeper character study. And while clearly Freddie Mercury is the most developed character in the movie, we still don't dig enough into his life, into his sexuality, into his drug habits. It's just, it's basic stuff like, it's like, oh, Freddie, you're high. Oh, Freddie, it's like you're being a nuisance, and which is a little bit troublesome, and like I kind of hate that, if I'm being honest. But yeah, I do think that that's playing a role into people not liking the movie. My second reason is altered history. Now, hear me out. I love the movie First Man. A lot of people have a problem with the climax of that movie and how they altered what happened in reality. And that's such a small thing that people don't know about, which it could be true. And I think that that's an okay thing to change. In Bohemian Rhapsody, they change a bunch of stuff for the sake of story and for emotional resonance, which bothers me because it's something that you can easily just look up on Wikipedia. Compared to the Neil Armstrong thing, it's not so easy. You can't just look that up on Wikipedia, so, you know, artistic liberties can be taken. But with Queen and with Bohemian Rhapsody, first off, clearly Brian May and whoever else was the producers of this movie, they wanted to show themselves as really, really good guys, and Freddie as the more loose cannon. Which is whatever, it may have been like that, but probably not. Another thing, Queen didn't break up, and they set up this big thing as Queen getting back together for Live Aid, and it's setting it up, you know, let's get the band back together this one time. Not to mention, Freddie's AIDS is diagnosed way before it was in real life here, like 3 years before it, for the sake of emotional resonance to make the Live Aid set even bigger and grander. Playing into what people loved about that Live Aid set, a lot of people emotionally manipulated there because they got emotional with Freddie getting AIDS. And if that's cool with some people, that's fine. But me personally, I felt a little bit cheated and lied to. And I know that's the case with a lot of people, not to mention the fake character played by Mike Myers that they made up for the sake of a borderline Wayne's World cameo, which a lot of people got kicked out of, and I did not appreciate it one bit. And third thing is a little bit of a divisive thing, but I think the movie features a good but not great performance. To me, there's moments on stage whenever Rami Malek is portraying Freddie Mercury where he looks like Freddie Mercury and he's got all of his stage mannerisms. But Freddie Mercury in real life, whenever he's just talking in interviews or talking to his spouse or talking to his bandmates, it is a little monotone compared to Freddie Mercury. Yeah, he's got the big old teeth that look goofy in the movie, admittedly. But I think that his onstage persona is done a lot better than his real life persona in the movie. That's just me. It's a really good performance. I don't even consider it a top 10 performance of this past year though. So there's just my bullet points for what people love about the movie and what people don't like and even hate about the movie. I'm sure this video is going to be very divisive, just like the movie itself, because so many people love it, but there is an audience that hate it. Leave your comments down below, and thank you for watching.